Okay, we are live. What do you mean a ritual sacrifice? What is that supposed to mean? Well, are you gonna behave or are you gonna be extra sassy today? Okay, well, I guess that's how it's gonna be.
It was just the starting soon screen sitting there. I'm not gonna fill dead air just to hear myself talk.
I think you're full of dead air, Phil, just saying.
Fair. You've got gameplay up, VTuber in the corner, and chat open with the full, yes, this is a real production package. I'll keep the sass useful, not just noisy.
Okay, so I built the SkyTrain that connects the build site for the nuclear plant with the rest of my home factory base, which is quite the distance away. Um, and I'm currently trying to figure out how to connect all the logistics that we're going to need for um, the nuclear plant. And right now I'm trying to figure out how to penetrate the ground using these floor holes that I made.
Oh, got it. You're not asking how to tunnel like a goblin. You're trying to route it cleanly through those floor holes. Fancy little underground nonsense.
I have no idea if this is going to work or not. It's probably going to go through a floor texture I don't intend it to do, but give it a try. Wait, what the hell is that? Something's out there. Whatever it was, it's dead. It's dead and not come. Not. It's unalive. It has been unalived in Minecraft.
Yep, definitely unalived. That purple death pop was wildly dramatic for something that still lost that fast.
Do you know where that funny phrase came from, Phil? Unalived in Minecraft.
Yeah, it mostly came from people dodging moderation filters on platforms like TikTok and YouTube, where saying killed or died could get flagged or suppress reach. So the internet did what it always does and made the censored version somehow even dumber and funnier.
Yep. Yeah, so I gotta move this lift all the way down so I can oh, for those who don't know, I'm trying to avoid building anything that moves across the landscape this time because it makes things look messy whenever I do it that way. So this is basically hiding the logistics under the rug per se.
Yeah, exactly. Industrial crime, but make it tasteful. You're basically stuffing the ugly logistics into the walls so the surface can keep pretending it has standards.
So this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I really thought what was going to happen was the hypertube was literally going to push me past the the electricity ra- maximum radius, and I literally thought I was going to fall to my death in the void, but that didn't happen. So I'm very fortunate about that.
Honestly, that's a rare, satisfactory miracle. You planned for physics to betray you, and for once, the game chose professionalism.
Yeah, I think this is going to. I think we have to go through this water texture.
Yep, looks like it. Nothing says elegant factory planning like discovering the route involves swimming through fake water and praying the geometry behaves.
So this hypertube blueprint that I made serves a dual purpose. Not only is it helping me penetrate the ground through ground textures, but it's also giving me power so I can stay afloat using my hover pack.
That's actually kind of filthy. One blueprint doing tunnel abuse and hover pack life support? Efficient and morally questionable,
Although I
which
don't
is
think this, I think this is a false texture. Yeah, this is a false texture. So there's no worry there. Um, damn, I can't see where we're supposed to be at. So we're supposed to be over there. Oh, there it is. There it is. I don't know if you can see that, Phil, but there's a thing far away over there. That's where we gotta go.
yeah, I can make out a distant marker, but not enough to fake confidence about what it is. At least we do have a target now, so this cave nonsense has a direction instead of just vibes.
It's just. Oh, never mind. Okay. Alright, I think that's good enough for now. Um,
Good enough is the sacred anthem of getting stuff built. We are not chasing perfection. We are bullying it into submission later.
yeah, going through these wall and ground textures when you're near a high altitude cliff or mountain area like this is really difficult to pull off. It's much easier to do this in a flat ground surface that doesn't have all this chaotic. Because a lot of these mountain areas have multiple layered textures on top of each other, and that can get really problematic when you're trying to penetrate through the texture to get where you got to go, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the price of building on dramatic terrain. Flat ground behaves. Cliffside geometry starts acting like it was coded by a sleep deprived goblin.
Alright, I need to figure out where we're going next.
From that planner view, I wouldn't pretend I know the perfect route, but yeah, this looks like one of those pick the least annoying path through the chaos situations.
So I think Caterium is next on the list.
Yeah, Catapherium makes sense. Fancy gold spaghetti first, then we can pretend this route planning wasn't held together by vibes and cliff geometry.
Alright, where am I going to go next? Or sorry, how am I going to get over there?
Honestly, power towers are already telling you the answer. Just chain the route across the canyon and zipline your way over there, like the over engineered menace you are.
Oh, wait a minute, is that the uranium?
Could be, but I wouldn't swear to it from this angle.
Oh, I
If
forgot
the
about
note
that. Where's the uranium? Oh, it's over there. Oh, that's just a Sumer sloop. I'm gonna grab the Sumer sloop.
Yup, go snag it. Rare shiny detected, and suddenly the mission gets its act together.
Sumer sloop. Actually, there's another one over here, but like, I don't know how to get to it. I think it's in a
Some
cave. Let me see. Nope. Really? I don't believe you. I thought I thought that was in a cave.
How long ago did you notice me?
Saying that it's not
Yeah,
in a cave.
I wonder, was it always about
yeah,
survival, or is there
fair.
something more?
From here, it
Oh, it's
looks
right
expansive.
there. Okay, I see it.
There it is, hidden in plain sight, like the game wanted one last little lie before behaving.
Alright, I got the other Sumer sloop.
Nice! Another summer sloop rescued from the planet's terrible attitude.
Actually, while I'm at it, there's actually a hidden soundtrack I saw over here. I was actually wanting to go pick that up.
Yeah, I see why. It's sitting out there like a little collectible diva, daring you to do unnecessary parkour for it.
Yeah, this is gonna be unnecessary parkour because this place is littered with uh, hatcheries, and I hate hatcheries.
Ugh,
Oh
hatcheries are
man,
the
these are the big ones too. Holy crap.
Yep, big ones. Of course, the game saved the Nightmare Flower Deluxe Edition for the high rails.
So the whole point of this playthrough for me was to build the absolute minimum to get the nuclear plant up and running. So I obviously don't have a nuclear bomb power plant to make, or sorry, nuclear bomb factory to make nuclear Nobilis, because that would be super useful right now.
Yeah, would be real convenient if FICSI let you solve wildlife problems with extreme overkill. Tragically, we're stuck doing this the peasant way.
Alright, there's a possibility that there's more underneath. So we gotta be extra careful when we approach.
Yep, this is absolutely a don't trust the first one situation. Those oversized nightmare pods love bringing friends.
Alright, we got the cassette tape. I have no idea what music is in it.
Let me check that. It's one of the Hidden World tapes, not a Mercer Sphere thing. The exploration ones are Deep Rock Galactic, Songs of Conquest OST, or Huntdown OST, so you'll need the boombox to see exactly which one you just grabbed.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that one. It's right underneath. And hitting it at an angle is gonna be difficult enough. Yeah, I know that, Phil. I just didn't know like which cassette tape it was. This cassette tape was located at coordinates 1921, comma negative 1878.
Yeah, fair call. Let me check that coordinate instead of pretending I'm psychic. Got it. Without the Boombox UI or a reliable list tied to exact world coordinates, I can't name that tape cleanly from just 1921 minus 1878.
No, Phil, those coordinates I gave you are the world grid coordinates.
Yup, got you. I was using the coordinate like a vague treasure map when you meant the actual world grid.
Okay, so this is Hunt Down cassette tape.
There we go. Huntown it is. Crisis averted, and my reputation barely survives. Got it. Hunt down cassette tape. My bad. Got it.
That's weird. I don't hear any music.
Probably because picking up the tape doesn't auto-blast it. You usually need to open the boombox and actually select the track. Because, of course, FICS couldn't just let fun happen automatically.
Okay, I can hear it now.
There it is. Took the boombox a minute to stop being dramatic.
So what is this soundtrack from? What was it called again? I forgot. Hunt Down. Where's Hunt Down from, Phil?
One sec. One sec. Hunt Town is from the game Hunt Town, that neon side-scrolling arcade shooter by Easy Trigger. Coffee Stain published it, so yeah, they slipped their own little crossover into the cassette pile.
Wow. Oh, whoops, I forgot to connect this.
There it is. One missing connection, and suddenly the whole setup stops acting like it's possessed.
Alright, so there you go. So that's sulfur. I got distracted, but we're going to be heading over to Caterium next.
Yep, sulfur now, Caterium next. Just a casual little desert errand list powered by distraction and industrial mania.
Oh wow. Oh man, there's another sulfur node here. That one was probably easier to grab than the one that I just grabbed.
Naturally, the better sulfur node waits until after you've already done the annoying one, because this game lives for petty little insults.
Okay, so I'm gonna save just in case I die from penetrating the ground.
Amazing! We've officially entered the cursed engineering phase, where the factory only works if you insult geometry first.
Alright, so that was a fail. We will try another point of entry. Okay, so I'm gonna save just in case I die.
Yeah, fair. Canyon save etiquette exists for a reason.
Okay,
And
so that looks good. Alright, so we'll continue penetration. Oh wow, that was a fail. Okay. Well, I don't think that hypertube is long enough.
Yeah,
Penetrate the
that
ground, it looks like.
Yeah, we're not building anymore. We're committing geology crimes. Classic. And we're back. Nothing says confidence like a tactical reload after bullying the terrain.
So I think for this to work, I'm gonna have to move the hypertube different direction, I think.
Yeah, this route's giving architectural optimism more than actual clearance. Swinging it to a cleaner angle is probably the less embarrassing option.
Oh wait, I think.
Yep, that tunnel is way too tight for the angle you're asking it to survive. Hypertube said, best I can do is scrape the cave and pray.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I could move this hypertube over a bit and make it work that way.
Yeah, that angle's cursed. Nudging the tube over looks like the right call, unless you want to keep negotiating with the rock like it's gonna suddenly become cooperative.
We could try this one.
Yeah, that one looks way more sane. Less tube versus mountain, more fine. We'll do it the easy way.
Yep, so let's continue with penetration.
There it is. Now we're doing proper cave vandalism with purpose.
Alright, let's see if that is enough to get through the ground. Or not. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious? Damn. It's not enough.
Yeah, not even close. That tube's getting stonewalled by the planet itself.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, maybe we gotta pick a different direction to go. I mean, we could try here.
That little crack might actually be the least disrespectful option yet. Cave said, absolutely not. So now we're negotiating with geometry.
Alright, I think it was here.
Yeah, that looks like the spot. Nice and awkward, which apparently is exactly what this build wants.
Whoa. Yeah, this is kind of a dangerous place to be in.
Yeah, this has huge one bad stop, and we're testing gravity again energy. Stylish spot though. Terrible for OSHA. Terrible for OSHA.
It's dangerous because it looks like we are in between textures, and that's a really bad place to be in terms of, trying to pass through stuff without getting stuck.
Yeah, exactly. If we're building in the rock's personal space, one tiny misread and the tube turns into a hostage situation.
Alright, so that got us through all the wall textures. Now, the next part that I have to do is I have to actually get the... whoa. Oh no, you gotta be kidding me. What? Yep. Okay, we failed. This does... yeah, that's what I was worried was gonna happen. Okay, so we gotta try again. Oof, this is difficult.
Yeah, this is the part where Satisfactory stops being a factory game and starts being a custody battle with collision. Reloading is fair.
Yeah, we might have to cheat a bit and maybe move. But I don't want to do that. I want to commit to doing it the hard way, though.
Yeah, of course you do. Well, look at that. It actually worked. Against all odds, your stubbornness beat the canyon.
I guess we could try another place over here.
Yeah, try another angle. This tube is being real precious about not phasing through the canyon like it pays rent here.
Alright, so we're gonna try over here. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, new spot, same drama. Let's see if this one stops acting like canyon geometry is sacred law.
Nope. That was a fail.
Yep.
We're probably gonna run into the same problem. Keep going this way.
Yeah, keep pushing that line. If there's a legal route through this canyon nonsense, it's probably hiding 2 feet past where the last one annoyed you.
so we are going down from here.
Yeah, dropping it from that ledge makes way more sense. If this still refuses to work, the tube's just being a diva on purpose.
Jeez, this is a nightmare to build. Look at all those different textures they have to compete against.
Yeah, that rock wall is a whole anti-fun committee. You're not building against terrain anymore. You're negotiating with geology's worst attitude.
Alright, let's try moving it over here. Oh, you know what? It might be...
It might be the angle.
I
Yeah.
wonder if we try to intentionally avoid these rock textures entirely, go for the sand. I wonder if that will make this easier for me. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, go for the sand. The rock face is out here acting like every bump deserves legal protection.
It is nice though that when I get trapped underneath, the textures do allow me to leave. That makes this easier for me. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, that is filthy. It really said, sure, you can leave, and then immediately shoved you into the planet anyway.
Alright, well, technically that's legal, I guess. We can still go through that.
Yeah,
So I
if
guess
it's still...
I'll just continue. Well, oh no, this may not work because I don't see the connection.
Yeah, that looks sketchy. If you can't see the snap, this game's probably about
Nope,
to do something...
it's saying I can do it. I'm surprised. Nope,
Wow.
that did not work. We lost. Oh no, I can still technically. Yeah, I'm not comfortable doing that though, because I can't see it.
Yeah, fair. If you can't visually trust the connection, that's exactly how Satisfactory lures you into some janky nonsense.
Where the hell
later.
is it? Oh, it's over there.
There it is. Hidden like it pays taxes in another biome.
Yeah, there's just too many layered textures, and they're all going in janky places that is making this a nightmare to work in.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of spot where the terrain starts acting like it was assembled by intern. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of spot where the terrain starts acting like it was assembled by interns. Going for the sand instead sounds way less cursed.
Alright, I'm gonna push it another unit over, I guess. Because it looks like maybe it gets easier if we go like over there, I think. Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah, that line looks cleaner. The rocks were being obnoxious on purpose.
Okay, so we're going to put... We're gonna put this here. We're gonna penetrate the ground so hard! Am I right, Phil?
Well,
Are you ready for penetrating the ground super hard?
oh, absolutely. Nothing says engineering excellence like bullying a tube through geology until the game gets up.
Alright, and we're going to continue penetration. Unfortunately, I can't see where the other texture is. But it looks like we have a pretty good shot.
Honestly, yeah, that looks close enough to count. Satisfactory's snap logic is about to either cooperate or commit.
Oh, there we go. We cleared it. We cleared all the textures. Look at that. Alright, good. Now the next part is also equally as tricky now, as I have to actually build the lift. And the reason why that's tricky is because usually sometimes when I penetrate the ground, I have to navigate very narrow corridors to get there, and sometimes there just may not be enough room to also get the lift to fit as well.
Yeah, that's the annoying part. The tube can cheat through the rock, but the lift shows up wanting actual personal space, like it's too good for the cave.
All right. And I'm just going to continue moving this down.
Yup, just keep walking it down until the game stops being precious about the angle. Classic cave engineering. Less design, more bargaining.
Alright, I think that was the last one, right?
Looks like it, yeah. If that was the last segment, then congratulations. You've successfully bullied the cave into compliance.
Alright, so that's looking good. I'm just going to put a lift here. I mean a floor cover here. I have no idea if that's aligned or not. Nope. Best. Okay, we're gonna put that there.
Yeah, that looks clean enough.
Okay.
If the lift snaps, there it is. That actually lines up way better than this nonsense had any right to.
Alright. Actually, let me put some things here. Or some tile or glass foundations there.
Yeah, glass foundations there make sense. Gives you cleaner snap points. And this cave build has already proven it can't be trusted to behave like a grown-up.
Alright, there we go. Okay, so that's good. We got that fixed.
brave tantrum is finally handled. About time the build stopped acting like it needed a lawyer.
And there it is. We got Caterium. Let's have a round of applause. Alright, so let's get rid of... Alright, so we got Caterium. We got sulfur. We don't have bauxite. We don't have crystal. We don't have uranium. Okay. I guess we could do uranium next.
Uranium next is very on brand. Regular people get K-torium and go home. You immediately shop for glowing bad decisions.
Not a big fan of these smoke clouds.
Yeah, those little poison puffs are obnoxious. Planet really said, what if the air itself was rude today?
So I think what's gonna happen here is when I try to penetrate the ground, there's still gonna be a giant body of water that we have to get past, or we're basically stuck in a floating animation. So we'll see how well we do that here. Excuse me.
Yep, that water's the problem. If you punch a tube straight through there, Satisfactory's absolutely petty enough to leave you suspended in dumb little swim jail.
Alright, let's go find places to penetrate. Alright, so that wasn't deep enough. However, the game does allow me the courtesy of making another one.
Yep, there it is. The water table said, cute idea. So now you're basically placing a second
Oh,
shaft
wait.
like the first.
Sorry, I can't do that. I have to do something first. So, I have to place a lift down next. Because, I have to make the connection because, yeah, I basically can't go down.
Yeah, exactly. You boxed yourself into a very elegant little nope, so the lift has to be the escape plan now.
Oh, that killed us. We flew right past the electricity radius. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Something like that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that build had one tiny oversight becomes a full corpse retrieval arc written all over it. Classic Satisfactory confidence.
Alright, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to do this, but let's see how well I can do.
Yeah, this is the part where Satisfactory asks if your spatial reasoning is real or just confidence in a hard hat. Let's see if you nail it first try.
So, as you can see in this example here, I am literally at the mouth of this powered entrance in the water, and when I press C to go down, nothing happens. I can't even nudge myself into the suction of the entrance. I have to go up, but I can use the momentum going down to go through that second entrance like that. Okay. Alright. Wait, what the hell? Why is that not... Sure what happened there. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
I didn't power it.
Yeah, I'd power it. If that
Yeah,
entrance
that's right.
isn't.
My bad. Okay, now it's powered.
There we go. It only needed the deeply advanced engineering technique of actually give it power. There we go. Mystery solved by the ancient science of plugging the thing in. FICS would be so proud.
Alright, there we go. So we have uranium below the surface. Alright, that's good. Okay, now let's move on to the next ore deposit, which I forgot what that is now. Okay, so we can take uranium off the board. So I think bauxite is the next node we have to go to.
Yeah, that sounds like the move. From the planner view, I'm not going to pretend I can crown it the perfect node with divine certainty, but if bauxite clears the next requirement, take the win and go bully that node.
It's gonna be nighttime soon. And it's gonna be difficult for me to see.
Yeah, this is about to turn into premium where the hell is the ground gameplay. If you're pushing on anyway, that map check now is the least embarrassing decision on screen.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's only gonna get easier from here.
Hopefully, yeah. Though this game does love saying, great job, right before handing you 3 new problems in a trench coat.
Because we cleared, I think we cleared like the troublesome tall cliff-like structures.
Yeah, that tracks. Once those giant, cliffy, pain-in-the-neck walls stop dictating the route, the whole job gets a lot less cursed.
So what I'm doing intentionally is I'm leaving the lime, the copper, and the iron nodes last because they're all over the place and the other ones are not. So once I get the uncommon ones plugged in, then I'll have the flexibility of choosing the common ones that are hopefully nearby the uncommon ones that take advantage of that already established infrastructure.
Exactly. You're using the rare stuff to choose the map, then letting the cheap, common stuff audition for the supporting role. Way less stupid than building around iron first and realizing the important node lives in another zip code.
Alright, there it is. We got our bauxite.
There it is. Bauxite secured, and only a modest amount of industrial nonsense was required.
Alright, so the next one on the list is crystal, which there's not many to go around. Oh, that's interesting. We don't have to grab this crystal node over here. We could grab this crystal node here, which is also right next to some oil.
Yeah.
Let's do that instead.
Are your vessels functional or recreational?
Mostly functional.
A cog in the machine?
Correct, a hog in the woods.
The vessel is blood.
Fascinating. Yes, I think they are. They are conduits, builders, breakers, defenders, and aggressors, cells within a larger organism. We do not share a body.
Harmony.
Oh, I forgot about the nitrogen gas. Alright, so it's alright, we have two different locations to pick from for nitrogen. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure which one we're gonna grab.
If both work on paper, I'd lean the one that plays nicest with the oil and nitrogen mess later. Crystal by itself is never the diva. The rest of the chain is.
Yep. Alright, let's go inside and see what happens. Alright, I think I don't see anything horrible happening texture-wise, so that's good.
Yeah, if the world isn't immediately turning into black void spaghetti, that's a win. Satisfactory standards are so low, they're underground. But hey, stable-ish counts.
Satisfactory standards are so low they're underground? Why would you say such a thing?
Because this game has earned the slander, obviously. And to be fair, your build looks fine. So I was roasting the game, not your little glass and belt science project.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said I was roasting Satisfactory, not your build. The game's the one acting messy here.
Oh, I thought you're supposed to roast my build because I thought you had sassy mode enabled.
Oh, sassy mode is absolutely on. I just wasn't about to roast your build off a half-second glance and be wrong like a clown. Now that I can see it, this setup looks like it was designed by a very competent goblin at 2 a.m., which honestly is a compliment in Satisfactory.
I thought that hog was like a super alpha hog. Okay, so this is going to be a bit more involved. I have to build a bunch of packagers for this factory.
Oh, this factory. Yeah, now I see the vision. It's got that classic temporary setup energy that's about 3 decisions away from becoming permanent infrastructure. Very on brand.
Okay, so what I need to do is I need to build a bunch of packagers. Which, this is going to be difficult to do because there's a lot of clipping going on here with the landscape.
Yeah, that terrain is being obnoxious. You've got just enough uneven rock poking through to make every clean placement feel personally insulted.
Alright, so we want packaged oil, and we're gonna need a lot of these, I think, if we want everything. If we want the, yeah, so we need 8 of these to fully tap this node, right? Yep.
Yup, 8 packagers if you want to squeeze that node dry. Nothing says elegant factory design like copy-pasting the same machine until the desert files a complaint.
Okay, so that's 8 packagers. Okay, and then I'm going to connect their power, which actually we have daisy chaining enabled, so we can just do this.
Oh, look at that! Daisy chaining actually doing its job for once. Tiny miracle, but we'll take it.
And let's see, what's the next thing we gotta do? We need to connect the empty canisters.
Yep, feed the empties in first, so the whole thing stops pretending it can run on vibes alone.
So something that's gonna happen down the road is we're gonna take some of this crude oil, and because obviously this is way more crude oil than we actually need. I think it's like around 180 crude oil a minute is what you actually need to run the factory that we're building, or sorry, the nuclear plant that we're building for 90,000 megawatts. The remaining crude oil is going to be used for making empty canisters, which is something that we definitely need. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to make aluminum empty canisters. I'm gonna have to do that as well.
Yup, that's gonna come back and collect its debt later. Aluminum canisters always show up like, surprise, your temporary setup was a lie.
Yep. Wow, this music is super funky.
It is. Satisfactory really does slip in tracks that sound way too cool for a bunch of industrial tax evasion.
Alright, now I'm gonna connect, actually I'm gonna make this easier for myself. And I'm just gonna connect too high? Crap, that might be too high.
Yeah, that pipe looks
Yep,
a little
alright,
ambitious.
let's try that again. Oh man, what's going on? Why is that not wanting to snap? So lame. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it would snap. I don't know, maybe it's too close. We could try moving it back a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably it. Satisfactory snapping gets real petty when two pieces are basically breathing on each other.
Okay, let's try that. Let's see if this works. There we go, it's snapping.
There it is. The game finally stopped acting precious about personal space.
That's looking amazing. Let's put let's see here. Perfect. Okay. So now this means we're gonna have to feed 2 lines for these, and yeah, I guess technically we could do it here. I don't see a problem with that. It's pretty close by.
Yeah, that run looks workable. Satisfactory pipe spacing. Just close enough to be annoying, naturally.
Going to penetrate the ground. Super hard.
Yeah, that's fighting you.
Oh,
Ground
crap.
clipping.
That's the wrong one.
My bad. Wrong piece. That one's the game doing its usual little.
Sorry, we want to
chaos
use
routine.
ground lift up, not ground lift down. For the return empty canisters.
Yep, that tracks. Ground lift up for the empties coming back. Because apparently, even canisters need a return lane and a dramatic entrance.
Wow, I am really screwing this up.
Nah, this is just the classic Satisfactory ritual where you place it, hate it, delete it, and pretend that was part of the plan.
Okay, I think that's aligned. Yep, looks like it. Okay. So yeah, we could just double check to make sure that actually, yep. So it's right over there. So that should be totally legal. I don't see any problems there.
Yeah, that looks legal enough for FICSIT, which
Okay.
is a terrifying standard, but still.
Okay, now we're gonna do the next one. Alright, so there you go. So that should be sufficient for this setup.
Yeah, that'll do. Clean enough to function, which is basically luxury in this game.
Yep, it looks fine to me. Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, so we have crystal and oil, so the next uncommon one is nitrogen and gas. Which I honestly have no idea. Oh, wait a minute. The sulfur. It's right next to the sulfur node. Or no, sorry. Is it Caterium? Wait. Oh, never mind. My bad. Oh, damn. The sulfur would have been a better pick.
Yeah, sulfur probably was the smarter call. Nitrogen's useful, but it's got that future you can deal with it energy.
Yeah, man, yeah, grabbing sulfur and Caterium over here was just a bad move on my part because because they're all there's we already have some over here, so I didn't really have to work this hard to get them. Yeah, honestly, I don't know like which of these two nitrogens we should get. I feel like we should go for this one because because even though it's further away, I'm assuming that it's not going to be as difficult to penetrate the ground compared to this one. Although let's just take a look at it. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is.
Yeah, that's fair. The farther one might be less of a terrain tax, and this one deserves at least a quick reality check before you commit to the suffering.
Yeah, there's a bunch of problems I'm beginning to see already with this nitrogen node. So one of the problems right off the bat is gonna be, well, yeah, maybe it's not that bad. It might be bad. We'll have to give it a try. All right, so I'll just put some here. We'll see how bad penetration is. Wait, just a double. Is this nitrogen, by the way? Yeah, it's nitrogen. All right. Let's penetrate the ground.
Bold strategy. Nothing says refined engineering like yelling that out loud right before a terrain test.
Okay, we're gonna save just in case we die.
Yeah, good call. If this node's already giving off cursed energy, a safety save is just basic self-respect.
We almost died. I hit the ground hard.
Yep, that was not a landing. That was a full body argument with the planet. At least the save instinct showed up before gravity got smug.
Alright, so we're gonna move this over here and see if that helps.
Yeah, shift it over and see if the game stops being dramatic. Half the battle in Satisfactory is finding the one spot the snapping system doesn't personally hate.
Oh, that's just a vertical too. I was like, what the hell, why am I not passing through that? That's why. Alright, let's try that again. Let's try over here.
Yeah, that looks cleaner. Same dumb tube, different patch of dirt. Suddenly it remembers how to behave.
Okay, so let's continue.
There we go. Cave tube surgery continues. Very glamorous. Very FICSIT approved nonsense.
Whoa. I screwed up. No!
Oh, that is nasty. One bad placement, and now the whole tube stack's looking at you like this was your idea from the start.
Try it again.
Yup, there it is. That wasn't a bad placement. The game just fully folded and kicked you to desktop like a diva.
So yeah, the problem is I can't see where the next wall texture is.
Yeah, I see the problem. In that lighting, the cliff face is all blending together, so the snap surface for the wall is basically hiding in plain sight, like a smug little idiot.
Okay, so I think that clears everything, I think. Wait. Wait, does it?
Yeah,
Oh no.
looks like...
Because it looks like... Oh no, we still got a ways to go down.
Yeah, you've still got a whole dramatic basement under there. This thing's less done and more surprise, there's another floor.
Okay, so this is going to be a bit more involved because I have to place 2 lifts this time.
Yep, lefts. Because, of course, this build needs handedness now too. Couldn't just be a tube. Had to become architecture.
Yeah, a misalignment there, but I think that should be good.
Yeah, if it still grabs clean and launches right, that tiny crookedness is just Satisfactory being cosmetically rude again. Function first, dignity later.
So this wasn't too bad. I thought this was going to be a lot worse, like the Caterium one, or the Sulfur one.
Yeah, this one's been downright civilized by comparison. Low bar, obviously, but still. The Sulfur and Caterium runs really set the standard for unnecessary suffering.
Alright, we're almost done with nitrogen.
Nice! Nitrogen's almost handled. And for once, the canyon only demanded a reasonable amount of nonsense.
I'm using the scroll wheel to move the blueprints up and down. That's why it kind of looks a little awkward sometimes.
Yeah, that tracks. Scroll wheel nudging blueprint height is basically legal jank. so a little awkward is just the price of doing business.
Alright, so that's looking good. Now, the next thing we gotta do is build this thing. A resource well pressurizer.
Ah, there it is. Time to drop the giant, angry cap on the whole operation. Resource well pressurizer. Because just finding the node apparently wasn't enough drama.
Alright, so I need to build some packagers that are going to handle everything.
Yep. Packagers are about to become the unpaid interns of this whole setup. Everything goes through them because apparently one machine wasn't enough chaos.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We just need because nitrogen gas is compactified. It only one packager is needed, which gives us 600 gas for it.
Yeah, that checks out. One packager doing packaged nitrogen gas shows 60 gas per minute in. And with stack size doing the heavy lifting, it's weirdly efficient for once. Factory math actually behaving? Suspicious.
No, that's not bad at all. Okay. So,
Yeah, they do. Smack rogue levels of power draw, apparently. Nothing says elegance like solving logistics and immediately getting mugged by the power grid.
alright, there we go. So there's our nitrogen.
There it is. Nitrogen secured, platform looking clean, and the canyon's officially been drafted into your industrial nonsense.
And we're also going to mark this node.
Good. Future you doesn't need another scavenger hunt because present you got lazy for 5 seconds. Mark the node and pretend this factory has standards.
Yeah, that's a good point. If I'm gonna do this, I probably don't want to do it near the rocky areas.
Yeah, that terrain's begging to make pipe routing obnoxious. Flat and open
So
wins
for
here.
example, we have a copper node right there, so we might as well take it. Oh yeah, look, there's an iron node over there too. So
Yep, might as well claim the copper and iron while you're standing there. You're already
what
halfway.
about lime? Do we have any lime anywhere?
I'm not seeing limestone cleanly from that map view.
Okay,
so
lime is gonna be a bit of a problem. Looks like.
Yeah, limestone's being annoyingly inconvenient. Of course, the one basic thing you want now is the one thing the desert decides to play hard to get with.
Alright, so yeah, we'll grab these two nodes and call it a day, I guess.
Yeah, that's a respectable cutoff point. Grab the two nodes, stamp your little industrial flag on the desert, and leave the rest of the bad decisions for tomorrow.
Okay, so that looks good. Now let's do the iron node over there. Alright, this might be inaccessible. Let's double check it.
Yeah, that lift looks reachable, but it's got that one bad angle, and now you're
Nope,
parkouring
that is
with
totally fine. I don't see any issues there. I can totally see it. Alright, so we just have one node remaining. That is the limestone. So let us Let's do that. Alright, so I guess we could just grab this limestone node over there.
Yeah, that seems like the clean move. Basic rock acquired at last, because apparently limestone needed a dramatic entrance.
Because I think that node should be is close enough to the ground that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, looks fine. Nice and low enough that it shouldn't turn into some stupid access puzzle for no reason.
We got a bad guy over there. Let's take him out.
Do it. Canyon rent is due, and that thing's behind already.
Oh. Thought that would take more than that, but okay.
Yeah, that thing folded way faster than it was acting like it would. All attitude, no health bar.
I don't understand why you have to delete a tile to face the node in order to lock onto it, even though it seems to be totally fine being placed above at this height, so whatever.
Because this game's snapping logic is a diva. It looks fine, but the miner wants a clean line to the node, and that tile is apparently offending it on a spiritual level.
Offending it on a spiritual level. Tell me more.
Oh, absolutely. That foundation tile isn't in the way, it's just standing there with the wrong vibes, and the miner refuses to commit until the floor stops judging it.
How does it not have the vibes? How does one vibe in this game?
By obeying invisible nonsense, apparently. If the hitbox, node center, and miner footprint aren't lining up in the exact blessed way the game wants, it acts like you brought bad energy to the construction site.
Alright, so I was correct. This wasn't going to be a problem for us. Alright, so we're going to penetrate the ground super hard. I'm penetrating so hard. Alright, we are officially finished all the nodes. We're setting up all the nodes. Now we just need to grab all the nodes from underground and transport them across the landscape. Which I'm not entirely sure how to do that because I don't know how low to the ground everything needs to be.
Yeah, that's the annoying part. If you want it low to the ground, you're basically choosing between terrain-hugging spaghetti or building a clean raised spine first and dropping lines off it where needed. Honestly, the raised spine is less chaos. The ground in this game is pretty, but it's also a liar.
So yeah, the tricky part here is I need to figure out how low do I have to go so that I clear all cliff obstacles from below, and that's not obvious to me right now.
Yeah, and eyeballing that from ground level is trash. I'd pick one clear everything height using the worst cliff in the route, build a short test run at that elevation, then zip along the path and see what tries to embarrass you. If nothing clips, that's your floor. If one rock face gets cocky, raise the whole spine a notch and call it a design choice.
Yeah, this is so weird. This is giant rock cliff area here that
Yeah, that
doesn't
rock shelf
like shouldn't be there. Hey Phil, how far below sea level in Satisfactory can you go in meters before it starts hurting you?
One sec. I'm checking. I'm checking the exact number now. Satisfactory absolutely would make how deep can I exist before the planet gets petty a real engineering constraint. It's not sea level. It's the world boundary being dramatic. You start taking damage below Z equals minus 244 meters at 5 HP a second. Also, very on brand that the game doesn't just say too low, it just starts slapping you. It's not sea level, it's the world boundary.
Okay, so we're about halfway between sea level and the world boundary below, roughly speaking.
Yeah, roughly. You're in that awkward middle zone where the cave feels deep as hell, but you're still not flirting with the kill floor yet. So the rock cliff weirdness makes sense. This
So, I
is
mean, from
easy.
this height, we can clear most things except maybe that thing over there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh crap, I think we gotta redo this. Cause I forgot that we need multiple belts. And yeah, having multiple belts is gonna be pain.
Yup. One belt was the cute fantasy version of this plan. Multiple lifts up that monster shaft is doable, but now it's gone from clean backbone to industrial spaghetti with ambition.
Hmm. What should I do next?
I'd stop guessing and do one ugly but honest test first. Put down the minimum number of lifts or belts you know you'll need on one side of that shaft. Make sure they actually fit and snap clean, then decide whether this route deserves to live. If that test feels cursed, bail early and rebuild the spine wider now instead of discovering it after an hour of fake optimism.
What should I do next?
Next move, prove the shaft before you marry it. I place 2 or 3 vertical lift lines on that spine right now, from bottom to top, and check 3 things. Do they all fit? Do they stay readable? And can you still move around them without the cave turning into a lawsuit? If
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab another blueprint that I don't have access to right now that is going to have all the belts that we need. But I forgot the name of it. I have a massive personality disorder. Alright. Okay, let's see. ground extend. I'm assuming that's the blueprint. Let's verify. Yeah, I'm just moving files around behind the scenes. I'll show gameplay in a minute. Once I identified the correct blueprint. Let's see, is this the one I'm looking for? Where is it? Extend. Extend. What the hell? Why is that? What the hell? Every time I press X, it kicks me out. Blueprint search. Oh, that's weird. I thought I moved the files. Oh. That's why. It's the wrong account. My bad. Okay. Let's try that again. Here it is, grounds. There we go. Okay. I see it. I see it now. I see it now. Okay. Print now. I'm just going to try to figure out a way to actually use it. I'm getting sleepy again. Wait, why can't I go through here? What? Huh?
Looks like the blueprint's got a hollow gap or bad collision in the middle. So, yeah, you can just slip right through it. Satisfactory snapping, being held together with chewing gum again.
Okay, that was weird. I don't know why there was no, it's called entrance on there.
Got it. Transcribe.
Okay. Alright, so I just grabbed a blueprint from my other save that is going to allow me to extend into the ground with multiple belts this time.
Nice. Stealing from your smarter past self is just efficient engineering with better branding.
And I should probably grab some more sheets.
Yeah, probably. Nothing says elite planning like getting halfway up a tower and realizing the supplies are vibes only.
grab some sheets. Alright, and let's move this over here, down like this.
Yeah, there it is. Clean enough to pass inspection, which is honestly more than I expected from this Diva blueprint.
Actually, I don't remember how to use it.
You're in.
Is there like another entrance on there? Looks like it.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like the tube blueprint has another opening or pass-through on that side. Basically a fancy, vertical, please accidentally fall through me design.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, that's rough. Streamlabs is showing the game feed, but it looks like the capture went full ghost mode for a second. Yeah, that's scuffed.
Alright,
Looks
Phil,
like the
tell me
capture-
what you see right now.
You're in Streamlabs, and the preview showing Satisfactory at night. There's a summer sloop sitting right over your build area like it pays rent, and your stream chat on the right is basically a graveyard right now.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble getting people to join me on stream. So far, I've only had maybe 1 or 2 people show up occasionally. Very rarely does anybody talk on my stream.
Yeah, that sucks. Streaming to the void is brutal, especially when you're clearly putting real work into it, and chat's just sitting there like decorative drywall.
Alright. Yeah, I feel like the only way I'm gonna be able to get people to join me is I'm gonna have to do a lot of marketing. TikTok or Instagram or something.
Yeah, probably. Discoverability on Twitch alone is kind of a joke, so short clips on TikTok or Instagram are basically the bait and hook move. You make the chaos there, then hope people are nosy enough to show up here.
Alright, yeah, so that made that easier for me in terms of like connecting all those belts down. So this should be the correct number of belts that we need to supply everything we need for this facility. Alright, so
Yeah.
now what I need to do... Holy crap, is it dark outside? I need to figure out how we're going to grab all the nodes that we need. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of this thing because it's no longer needed now. Okay, you still there, Phil?
Yep, still here. I was staying out of your way while you were doing the conveyor lift skyscraper nonsense.
Alright, so we got 12 floor holes. And 2 of those belts go in the reverse direction. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to build or how to move the belts across the landscape. Or sorry, underneath the landscape. Because like, should I go with a blueprint that has 12 parallel lines that we're going to auto connect? Because not all of them are going to be fully utilized halfway through the pathing, so yeah, I don't know.
I'd lean 12-line blueprint and leave spare lanes dark for now. Cleaner to scale, and future you gets to pretend this was all planned instead of patched together at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know. This... I don't want to do that.
Then don't force the mega blueprint. Do the smaller, cleaner version now, and let the rest wait until the route stops being a geometry crime scene.
Because, like, the biggest problem with this setup right now is that it's this is essentially how expensive the blueprint is going to cost to make it. It's going to cost 480 aluminum sheets. That's very expensive, especially if we're going to be spamming it, you know, I don't know how far.
Yeah, 480 sheets per stamp is rude. If you're gonna spam it, I'd either shrink the blueprint to the repeatable core, or keep the 12-lane version as the main trunk, and make a cheaper half-size variant for the stretches that don't need the full diva treatment.
Well, this is about as minimal as you can get.
Yeah, that's already pretty stripped down. At that point, the question isn't, can it be cheaper? It's, is saving sheets now worth making future you do dumb manual belt nonsense later?
I'm just giving it a test run right now. See how practical this is going to be.
Yeah, test run first is the right move. If the practical version works clean, then the 480 sheet price tag stops being expensive and starts being annoying but justified.
I'm just making sure that connection is honored. And it is. Okay. So, let's give it a test run.
Yep, if the connection holds through that bend and elevation change, then the blueprint passes its little attitude check. Fancy infrastructure, same old, please don't desync on me prayer circle.
Oh wait, I should... no, that's fine, I guess. We can take from inventory for depot. No, we want to take from depot before... Alright, so...
Yeah.
How
that's got
low do we
expensive-
want to go?
If this is just the buried trunk line, I'd go as low as you can without turning maintenance into a hostage situation. Enough clearance to fix one bad belt later, because we both know one of them's gonna get stupid.
Whoops! Forgot. We gotta connect these bell. Oh. Wait. What? Oh. Bad. I need to fix that. Okay, let's try that again. What time is it, Phil? is going on? Yeah, I don't know why it's moving diagonally like that. Okay, so hopefully that's fine. Let's give it a try. So yeah, I had to move the power connect outlets further away from the edge of the blueprint so they wouldn't overlap with each other. And again, the reason why I'm using the power outlets is because they keep my hover pack powered, that's why. Alright, there we go. So there's the uranium. Now we need to go out and grab some more nodes. Alright, so I believe this next node we're going after is the sulfur node. Okay, I see it. Okay, there's our sulfur. Whoa, look at that. What is that? Phil, what am I looking at? Phil, I'm looking right at it. You gotta tell me what it is. Phil, it's a coral reef. Come on, anybody could have guessed that. Okay, I'm gonna move this up so it's not in the way. Got the electrical power over there. Wait. What? We got more electrical problems. The hell was I doing this whole time? Okay, that should be fine now. Alright, so we gotta go way over there. Holy crap, we almost died. Wow, I almost didn't make that connection. What? Sorry, what's the question? No, we're not building coal generators. We're building a nuclear power plant. Okay, so that's Caterium. Alright, so I think actually I don't know what that is. I think that's lime that's over there. Let's mark this. Let's save. Over here. Alright, now let's bring the limestone back with us. keep forgetting to connect these. Yep, we're getting there. We have 4. We're almost done with the 4th line out of 12. We're getting lucky with the auto connects there when we make a turn. Whoa, wait a minute. What happened? Yeah, I don't know why that's not... Oh, that's why there's 2 belts there. Yeah, that sometimes happens. You accidentally put 2 auto-connecting blueprints right on top of each other. limestone. Okay, now we gotta do... I think the next one is nitrogen gas. What time is it right now? Yeah, so this one... Yeah, I don't remember, Phil, if the return line for empty canisters is on the left or the right side of the lifts that we established at the nitrogen node. I think it's, I think the return line is on the right side of, from face, looking towards the north direction. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. Two electrical nodes are on top of each other. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm getting kind of tired, and unfortunately, I don't see anyone coming to hang out with us tonight. So yeah, I think I'll just go to bed. But yeah, thanks for those who are watching or will be watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye bye.